So welcome back, everyone. Well, it's the holidays, so we're going to have a little bit of fun right now. For the rest of the show, actually, my next guest who's been on with me a couple times, also on my television show as well, I have with me Keith Mueller, and he is the author of The Devil's Rifle. Tell everybody a little bit about the book. You got to tell them, if, right now I already know a little bit, so I wanted to say this. If you are a lover of sci-fi and mystery, you're going to love the book. Let's talk a little bit about it and why you wrote it.
Well, what's the impetus for the story is that mysterious chimney up when you turn off I-17 heading into Prescott Valley. I was born in Tucson, and so I've seen that thing when I was a kid and as a teenager, and it always looked like it was pointing at something in the sky, and I could never quite figure it out. So in my story, I moved that chimney to an imaginary town a little north of Prescott, and it became what the locals call the Devil's Rifle. Basically, the story revolves around Hobbs, Arizona, where in the late 19th century, after this mysterious lumber mill was built, which had the chimney, the local children were disappearing, just vanishing. The sheriff finally went with his posse to the tower and the mill, and there was this gigantic explosion, and the mill was destroyed. And half the town got burned because it was built out of wood. And now it's the 1990s, and our main character, Kurt, he's a high school senior, and he's beginning to have the same dreams he had when he was like 6 or 7 years old. Very disturbing dreams, repeating the same dream over and over again. And children are starting to disappear again. Only now, because we're in a more advanced time, the children are disappearing from Tucson, Phoenix, Prescott, and Hobbs. So the story is basically about what is happening to these children. And the story is young adult safe. I wrote it deliberately to be that way. I think that because of the way that characters develop, I think it's empowering for teenage girls and boys to see how these characters face adversity.
Well, when you were here the last time, you were talking about some of these characters that you made them, they were really true people, true characters, not just a makeup. Is that correct?
Yes. I don't believe in just having a superficial character. I can remember watching Westerns in the 1950s on TV, and the only reason there were Indians in the world was to shoot at the stagecoaches. I mean, nobody knew anything about them. You know, my characters are all real. They all have backstories. You know who each one is as you're reading the story.
You have a specific type of genre that you call it. What is it?
I call it science fiction mystery.
And the punk, no.
Steampunk.
Steampunk. And tell everybody what that is.
Well, this particular story isn't steampunk, but steampunk is sort of a style where you take advanced technology like 21st century technology and you put it into a 19th century setting.
Okay, but that is somewhat of your style, but you said this one is not like that at all.
This is out of that style. This was written, the basis of the story was written long before I started doing the steampunk writing.
So let's talk a little bit about it. First of all, what we're going to do is we're going to open up the lines to the audience. Are you sitting around right now doing nothing? Right? A lot of people are. It is the holidays. A great book. It's young adult friendly, which is a great book to give. Reading is a wonderful thing for everyone to do. It is a sci-fi kind of mystery, and I'm wondering if those children are found or anybody's found in that in the chimney. That's what if are they in there or where?
Well, actually, the chimney is, of course, a relic of the blown up lumber mill. It's the only piece that survived. But my main character, Kurt, discovers something in the chimney. And through various meetings with other people, including this older man who lives in Prescott, who seems to be a historian of Hobbs for some reason, finds out that this artifact has something to do with literally either saving or completely destroying the earth. And now it's in Kurt's hands. and there are forces moving against him to get it back.
I'll tell you something. You've got the most incredible mind to come up with a story like this, honestly. And I love what we're going to do is we're going to open up the lines to the audience for everyone to get entered in to win a book. It's called The Devil's Rifle, and it is by Keith Mueller. Our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. I'm going to let everyone call throughout the rest of the show to get entered in to win, whether it's you or someone that you know, science fiction, mystery, definitely on the woohoo kind of side, I have to say, right?
Yes, I would say so.
Say so a little bit, but definitely young, adult friendly. You made it that way on purpose. You wanted people to know. You can go up on his website and actually read part of the book right there, and it'll kind of give you a little synopsis about it. It's K.R. Mueller, Mueller.com. It is at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and all of those, but call in here and get entered in to win. It is the holidays, guys, or you're just sitting around doing nothing right now. What a great time to read. Our number here, 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. How long did it take you to put this story together?
Well, actually, quite a long time. I originally started writing this story back about 1994.
That's a long time.
I hand wrote it on notebook paper, and then I transferred it to an Apple II GS computer with dot matrix paper, and I found it all the way back in 2011, and it was fading. The ink was fading. I thought I better do something with this. I didn't know what to do with it after I had written it originally back then. There was no internet or anything, just starting out with that stuff. And so I rewrote it again on my current computer and changed a lot of it and updated a lot of it. And so the story's been gestating for a very long time.
I don't know about anybody else out there, but not only do you liking sci-fi and mystery put together, but I also love when I read a book, whether it is real or not, but it is in our city. And that's the one thing that also is about it. It's about, there's Hobbs, there's, where did you say?
There's scenes that take place in Hobbs, Tucson, Prescott, Phoenix.
And when, it's like you can relate to it somehow, right?
Yes, well, and the advantage of things like Google Maps and stuff, if you look up the streets that I talk about where things are happening, they're really there.
And did they ever really happen, or do we never know that?
Well, the story is fiction.
Right.
But
this is real. But
the chimney itself is real.
How did you come up with the name The Devil's Rifle?
Well, after the explosion at the sawmill, people began to surmise that the two people who were running the sawmill, this man and his wife, had something to do with the children's disappearance. And since this thing, when it was working on a sawmill, would smoke, it looked like a rifle barrel. And after all the devastation from the explosion, they just began calling it the Devil's Rifle because it seemed to be something evil and sinister to them.
Well, it might be. You don't even know what they found in it. This young boy who found something in there that is a big part of the story. It's young adult safe. So whether it's for you or someone that you know, call in here and get a book. Our number here, 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Have you written anything else? What are your future plans?
Well, I'm trying to find a way to get books published by a legitimate full-scale publisher, and that's very hard. I currently have 10 novels completed, waiting for a publisher. I have a 6-book series that is steampunk science fiction fantasy that's ready to go. It's been written, edited, multiple times. It's ready to go. I just need to find somebody that can publish it, that will actually get it to where it'll be in bookstores and places where people can actually find it.
So maybe you're someone out there that either you know somebody or you do, call him. Let's get in touch with him through the website. That is K.R. Mueller, Mueller.com. It is so hard today to be an author, right? It is easy to write a book and to put it together and do an ebook or whatever it is that you're doing. But when you really want your books in all of the bookstores and all of that, it's very hard.
Yeah, privately published books bookstores won't take.
Yeah, it's
You
hard.
have to be with a publishing house.
Well, I'll tell you something. Right now, I don't care whether it's published that one way or the other. I like the fact that it is a book that I can read, and you too can do that. You can go up on the website and also check out a little bit about the book. You could check out a little bit about Keith. I've been on your website too. He's a cool guy. You own an antique store. You've been here for how long?
I used to
Forever.
be an antique. Well, I was born in Tucson in 1949,
Yeah.
and I've lived here my whole life except for 7 years when I was in the Air Force.
And I
So-
must tell you, he has the mind like you can't believe, but that's why you want to read his books. They're very cool. This book is called The Devil's Rifle. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Okay, switch quickly